Hello and welcome to day 12 of Vlogmas. We are about halfway through, I think. I'm in the studio, as always. I haven't actually put the studio back exactly how it was before, so I might give you a little whiz round and show you what I'm trying out as something a little bit different in terms of layout in the studio. I am dyeing lots of yarn today. I finished off the colourways of Christmas Past that we shared yesterday, but then I'm also dyeing lots of club yarn, which I can't share with you, unfortunately. But I had a fun idea, a little bit silly, a little bit fun. And I'm going to chat gnomes and we're going to go on a gnome hunt. So in my studio, I have all of the gnomes that I have knit. If you're wondering what the hell is she talking about, gnomes, what's going on? So let's grab one. There's one here. So if you are new to my channel through Vlogmas and you haven't been watching my podcast, you will not know that I am slightly obsessed with the gnome patterns by Sarah Shearer of Imagined Landscapes. She has a wonderful array of gnome patterns. She also does mystery gnomes and things like that. I have been one of the official dyers for quite a lot of the mystery gnome things that she's done in the past, including the December one, which I finally cast on, by the way. So I will show you my progress on that a little bit later on. I've not done masses, but I have cast it on. So yeah, they are just these fun little knitted gnomes. They generally you only need about 3 minis. You can do a lot of them with scraps, to be honest, and they're just really, really fun. Up until this year, I had knit every single one of the mystery gnomes plus a load of other gnomes. But then this year got away from me and I just didn't keep up with all the mystery knit-alongs. I am going to get the December one done and then my plan next year. So next year, Sarah is hosting a year of gnomes. And the idea is that you try and knit a gnome a month during the year. Now, they are only little things. They don't take masses of time to knit. I have done a couple of vlogs on my Patreon where we've done a can I knit a gnome in a week kind of challenge, and generally that's successful. I can usually knit these little guys easily in a week, fitting around work and everything like that. But yeah, I thought I'm not necessarily going to join in with the Year of Gnomes in terms of knitting 12 gnomes. I don't think that's achievable for me. But what I am going to do is try and catch up on some of the gnomes that I have missed out on, basically. So some of the mystery ones I've missed out on and some of the other ones that I haven't knit yet. She did come out this year with a book. I'm just looking for it. This book here, which is The Gnomes of Grimblewood. So yeah, this is a great place to start. All her patterns are on Ravelry. This is a great place to start because it's got lots of really simple gnomes that are really kind of, what's the word I want? You can do what you want with them. You can change them around and they're fun. And there's lots of different ones. There's some that involve colour work. There's some that involve cables. I'm just looking, no, those ones are fine as well. I'm just making sure I'm not showing you bits of pattern. But yeah, some involve colour work, some involve cables, some are really, really simple. There's a really good mix in here. But yeah, I love a gnome. I really enjoy making them. They're really good fun. And although some of the aspects of them can be a little bit fiddly, Sarah's patterns are always amazing. And they've got tutorials linked for any of the fiddly little bits and pieces. So there's always video tutorials and really good descriptions. And yeah, they're just amazing patterns. So before we go on a gnome hunt, I will give you a quick whiz of the studio. As in, like, show you where I've changed things around and see what I'm doing. It's not masses. Well, I don't know. I'm rambling now. It's a big change, but for me, anyway. Let's have a look, shall we? So if you saw my getting the studio prepped video earlier in the month, you'll know that the island is normally in the middle of the room, which works well for me having space to kind of put things or like to use the whole side of it. But having had everybody in here and all the chairs set out in the middle of the room, once I put the chairs away, I was kind of like, oh, I like having all this space. It's really, really nice. It makes the studio feel much bigger. So what we've done is we've turned the table round. So initially we had it with the long side against the wall. So we've turned it round so that the short side is against the wall, because that means that I can access all of this side of the kallax and all of that side of the kallax. And I can get to the stalls, which are all tucked underneath as well. And it also means that I can use I can reach the whole space. Whereas when it was the other way around, it was hard to get to sort of the bit that was against the wall in the middle. But yeah, I can reach the whole space. So that's worked quite well. It's meant that I've still got enough floor space here, which you didn't actually see before because I tidied all this away, but I have floor space here for my spinner that gets all the water out of my yarn and my soaking buckets and things like that. Because my only water in the studio is the sink in the kitchenette and the one in the toilet, I guess. I need to do a lot of kind of water stuff in here, which is why we put the vinyl down on the floor when we first moved in. But yeah, so I normally have soaking buckets and things like that there, but I've still got plenty of space for them. I'm also finding that I've put my ball winder and Swift on this side of the table, and actually they're not getting in the way, whereas before, I think because I was using the table in a much different way, I found they were getting in the way all the time. So I don't know. I've left up my sample rail just because I really like it. I like seeing all the samples. It's inspiring. And I feel like they're probably going to be better cared for left out like that than shoved away in a box. At the moment I've left this, I just haven't tidied this up. I don't know whether I'm going to leave it like that or whether I'm going to tidy it away or what I'm going to do, but I don't know. I have moved my chair back over here for my podcasting corner. I'm hoping to podcast this afternoon, so it made sense to kind of get it back in its space. And then pretty much everything else is the same. I kept 2 of the dining chairs from home because these were the 2 that were in the attic. So they're not ones that we use regularly. They're just the spare ones that we bring down if we've got extra people coming round for dinner or anything like that. But it's just as easy to grab them from the studio if we've got extra people coming home from dinner than it is to get them down for the attic. But one of the things that's quite nice I discovered the other day, so I have this little machine here. This is a skein twister. You'll have seen it. I think I've showed footage of me skeining yarn, haven't I? But I always have to bring my desk chair in and out to use it. So having the dining chair here is quite handy to have an extra chair to be able to pull up to use it if I want to. And then everything else has remained the same over here with my desk and things like that. Right, shall we start the silly part? And shall we go on a gnome hunt? I think what I'm going to do is put on the screen the name of the gnome pattern when I show the gnome, because I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I will do my best. Although, before we start the hunt, I want you to get a number in your head of how many gnomes you think there are in the studio. And then once I have hunted them all out and shared them all with you, I want you to let me know in the comments how close you were with your number, because I am curious and I think that would be fun. We will start with the easy ones that are all super visible. I'm trying to remember which was the first one I ever knit. I think it was this one here. I think this was the first gnome I ever knit. He's certainly an early gnome because he has rice, cling film and rice in his bottom. As does, do you have cling film and rice too? Yes, so a lot of these ones are early ones. I can't remember all their names. I love this one. This was the ice cream themed one. So he's got little mittens and there was a little extra ice cream that you could knit for him to hold on to, and he's got a swirly hat. This one was really fun because you marled it, so you held the yarn double and created a marled gnome. This one has a gorgeous cabled hat which was super fun. And this one, who I can't reach, has a tricorn hat. Can you see? He's got three little bits on his hat. Again, this was a very early one. One of the first ones I knit, I think. And then round here, we have got a snowman who was one of the gnomes from last year. So last year's December mystery event, you knit 2 gnomes. Well, you knit a snowman and then you knit a gnome. I finished the snowman, but the gnome might still be on my needles. And then this was a super fun one. This again, I think, was one of the December ones. I've not weighted him properly, so annoyingly he doesn't stay up without a bit of support. So we'll bring him down to show you. But yeah, he was fun and stripy, and he had a little rucksack on his back that holds a baby gnome. So you got 2 gnomes in one with this one. Really, really good fun. Right, he needs propping up though. I have to put the snowman against him so he doesn't fall over. Right, now we need to actually hunt. So we have one over here. This is one of the Grimblewood gnomes, but not the ones from the book. Grimblewood Volume 1. There were 4 little gnomes in that Volume 1. I think this was one of the ones I did as a Can I Knit a Gnome in a Week challenge. Right, where else do I have gnomes? Oh, we have one down here. Now this was really fun. So the hat is made out of mosaic knitting, not colour work, which is brilliant. I struggle with colour work. It is a challenge to myself next year to try and do more colour work again and see if I can actually develop a love for it. But the mosaic knitting was brilliant. This is one that I was one of the dyers for, so I had kits. But yeah, super fun, a super fun gnome. Right, there are more. Here we go. Here is another, this was another one of the December mystery gnomes. I always think mine looks a little bit like Father Christmas. I loved that you gave him a belt and you could add like a little silvery belt buckle. And I love that he has legs. He is the only gnome, oh no, well, he's the only gnome with long legs. There is another gnome with little nubbles for legs, but he's the only one that actually has legs, and I usually have him sat on the side of the shelf. Then we have this one here. He was another mystery one. Now, he was an interesting one because he actually has his hat detaches, which is slightly disturbing. All the others, the hats are attached to the body. And when you knit the pattern, you actually knit three hats, and you had a choice of which hat you wanted your gnome to live with. Then we have this one here. This is my most recent finished gnome, the final one from the Grimblewood gnomes. And again, this is one I did in a Patreon, Can I Knit a Gnome in a Week, which was really, really fun. And I really love the colours. I really love the colours in this gnome. Right, more gnome hunting. I can't remember where I put them all. Oh, there's one I can't get to. Right, we'll go to the ones on the bookshelf first. This one I love. So this one is massive. You had various options as to how you knit it. I knit it with fingering weight, so 4-ply held double, but you could knit it with DK or bigger, and it just created such a great sized gnome. We have another little Grimblewood gnome here. I think this is Normanda. Really, really fun. I love that you have a dress on this one. So this dress that she's wearing is a separate piece that you put on afterwards. Really, really, really fun. There is one up here. I think this is Neil. I might have to stay back and fall over. Whoops. Bad video recording there. There we go. Here is Neil. Again, he's one of that first collection of Grimblewood gnomes. Really, really simple, but a fun striped body. There is one tucked down behind here. He was visible more during the craft event, and in fact, I will take him out and we'll pop him up here because I want to put him back somewhere a little bit more visible. If my camera would focus where I want it to focus. But yeah, he was a fun colourwork gnome. This fun little fact for you. The only colourwork projects that I have successfully completed, it's my alarm going off to tell me I need to go back to my yarn. Turn it off. There we go. The only colourwork projects I've successfully completed so far are gnomes, but it just shows I can do colourwork. It's just, yeah, I just need to practice more. There is one gnome tucked away in the tree here. As I said, Colourwork and Gnomes. They're the only projects I've managed to finish with colourwork, and this was a very colourworky gnome. Let me see if I can show you the hat properly. There we go. It was a very, very long colourwork hat on this gnome. Whoops. But he was super, super fun. Again, quite an early one, I think. There is one more somewhere, but I can't find him. Nope, there isn't another one. That is all the gnomes. So let me know in the comments, how close were you with your gnome guessing? I will share my progress with the December gnome shortly, and we will finish off, I think, with joke of the day a little bit earlier than normal, but it will give me a chance to get some more work done and get a podcast recorded. Right, I'm all set up, ready to podcast this afternoon, but I thought I would quickly show my gnome progress. It's not a lot, I have to admit, but I have started. I have finished, have I done all of clue 1 or am I in them? I think I'm on clue 1. I can't actually remember, or maybe I'm on clue 2. I think I might still be on clue 1 actually. I match it. So this is where we are, mystery piece number 1. We've got, excuse the state of my hands, as you know I've been dyeing yarn. Mystery piece number 1, we've got these fun little slip stitches to give decoration and things like this. I've been really enjoying guessing what everyone's guesses are about what this piece is, because of course, because I was one of the dyers, I know already kind of what we're knitting. I've not seen a finished gnome, but I've seen a sketch. So I have a rough idea of, well, I know what this piece is going to be, and I have a rough idea of what the finished gnome is going to look like. So it's been really fun kind of keeping stum, but seeing everyone else's guesses as the pieces have grown. I am behind, as I'm sure you can tell, but it's never too long to catch up. So I'm hoping I might pick this up tonight and sit down and get a little bit more done on it. And I've put it in the lovely little festive project bag that I received yesterday because I couldn't resist having my gnome in a kind of gnomey Christmas bag. It was, yeah, it had to be done, didn't it, really? So yeah, that is my gnome progress so far. But I'm going to wrap up this vlog here. So in that case, I feel like we need a gnome-ish joke of the day. Why do gnomes giggle when they play football? Because the grass tickles their armpits. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our gnomish adventure, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye.